Good. Everybody have a good break?
Yes, sir.
What'd you guys do with David?
He didn't make it.
He didn't make it to
Didn't make it?
New Year. Didn't make it to New Year. So he got me.
Under the weather. He'll be back. He'll be back.
Clarence Hill Football Star Telegram. How many hoodats were in your household yesterday?
Say it again?
How many hoodats? Hoodat yells were in your household yesterday?
Actually, I was home alone, so I was who that all by myself.
Just talk about the opportunity now. You still want a chance to win the division title. What's the focus this week?
I think it's just a great mindset that you always got to keep. Is you just got to keep playing. So we understand what's in front of us, and frankly, once again, I really didn't even talk about the seeds in the team meeting today because it's really just about getting ready to beat Washington. We actually split the day up today. We spent probably 2/3 of it on self scout, really going back over the last 3 games because of the schedule we've been on. So went back and just went through that, and just emphasized on the things we want to work on, and then we started our prep for Washington today. And I think the big thing for us, because of the schedule we've been on, is to get back into a 7-day flow. So just get into a 7-day flow going into this game Sunday afternoon. And then, and hopefully we'll be on another 7-day flow going into the wild card.
The home field advantage. How important is that, or you just focused on? Does it matter how you get in, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to play at home in front of your fans. I mean, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that's not a top priority. I mean, for the way I look at it, we just got to really lock down on the things we know we still can improve on. Our productivity has been very high in a lot of areas. I think our discipline has, really improved the last 5 weeks in the area of penalty prevention. So just really, building off the things that we've been doing well and just emphasizing, ball security and, things like that. And, second 11 blocking, perimeter blocking. So it just staying focused on the basics.
Todd?
Mike Todders with ESPN. Zeke's health, how is he? Was he okay coming out of that Tennessee game? It looked like he might have taken a helmet to the leg.
Yeah, no, he's. I mean, our medical report, he's good to go. He's going to practice Wednesday.
And with Tony, how's he coming back?
Tony will practice Wednesday too. Yeah.
Dr. Watkins, that's my news. Really say you want to be playing your best ball going into the postseason. Do you guys feel like you are doing that right now?
I think we got one more week to get to where we'd like to be. I think just if you look at the things that are going on, I mean injuries are part of the game. Unfortunately, we've had one almost every week here. The last 5 weeks. So we're going to have another lineup change this week on offense. I'm not going to talk about it because I never do in here, and you guys do such a good job finding out anyway. So I think just that, and defense. I think we're still working through some things with the personnel groups and that. So this will give us another opportunity to get up. That's why I think the full week of preparation is going to be good for us, and but hopefully we'll be able to build off of what we're able to get done here against Washington.
What was your message today to your guys? I know you didn't talk about seeding, but what was your overall message today?
Oh, self-improvement. Just keep them focused on us. Just really talked a lot about the Cowboys 6 and just really all football. It was like I said, a majority of it was self-scout corrections. But also looking. You go to the quarterback meeting. I was looking at the passing game, going through specifics and details of that. So. Just took it as an opportunity to get better.
Mike Epstein, Yahoo Sports. At the beginning of the year, y'all seemed to be pretty pass heavy. Dak went out, you became a little more run heavy. You talked about wanting Dak to keep firing. Where would you say you are in terms of what your ideal balance of the run and pass game?
Are you talking the last game or the last couple games?
The last few games.
Last few games? Yeah, I think like anything. I mean, you have an identity that you want to play to, and I think our complementary formula is pretty crystal clear how we want to play. But with that is the way the defense plays does create potential opportunities for you to try to take advantage of it. So I think at the end of the day, staying north of 30 rushes is a benefit regardless of the yards per carry. I've always felt that way. That's the way I grew up in this league. But with that, the pass production numbers have been extremely productive the last couple of weeks. So you have to be able to do both. I mean, we're getting ready to go play obviously Washington, but next week starts where you got to max out every series and every opportunity to put points on the board.
Is your run game as productive as you want it to be in recent weeks?
In recent weeks compared to prior weeks, no, I think the numbers speak for themselves.
Mike McCarthy from Dallas Morning News. Is the second level blocking part of that? Was that the big takeaway that you guys got?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the takeaways. I felt offensively was the second level blocking and the perimeter blocking. So, I think we had some tough angles. I think we put our guys in as far as how they declare. They obviously really challenged the box. As far as having a free hat and how you control that free hat, whether it's with motion to quarterback or an insert of a perimeter player. So just really tightening that up and make sure you have a good plan and just frankly really anticipate how we think Washington's going to play us. We're expecting them to be aggressive schematically and this will be a great test for us.
Michael.
Oh, VK.
Oh, I thought you had something.
Oh, no, sorry.
No. Babe.
Babe Loffner, Cowboys Radio. It appeared you guys did a really good job in pass protection for 3 quarters, and Bianish got hurt, and got a little more pressure on Dak. They got a free runner at 1, and I know you effectively juggled 3 different positions there. Was it more of a schematic thing for the O-line in terms of pass protection, or any physical part of it?
I'm trying to think of fourth quarter what you're talking about. I would say the one that was a scheme was I think it was the Mike linebacker off the edge, right? So, I mean it's that is he picked up and when you go 5 for 5 and also I think we had Dalton on the shell across there. So those are I think just once again in-game injuries are a lot harder to deal with than injury going into the game. So I think the fact that we'll be able to practice with Connor and in the group how we ended the game, we'll be in really good shape versus a tough defensive line.
Mike, with T.Y. and his assimilation here to what he's been able to do for you in such a short amount of time, how amazing is that? But beyond the fact that he's a guy who hadn't done anything from the end of last season until now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it speaks volumes about him personally, but also I think professionally for him to come in, to be in game shape. He's handled everything that we've thrown at him. Obviously, he's a very accomplished receiver. Like I like to say, he has a lot of pelts on the wall. But and I could see him getting even more this week. So it's a steady incline that we recognize, and it's just like anything. It's you got to get that connection with the quarterbacks, and he's doing a good job of doing all the extra.
He kind of credited Cal Valero for a lot of the work that they did together. It was one of these things where they're just kind of locked in a room together.
Yeah, all day, all night type deal. I mean, it started really from the first day he got here, and I thought Kyle knocked it out of the park with him. He did an excellent job.
Focus this week, you talked about just trying to, focus on yourself and trying to get better. Do you have a mindset in the game where you're scoreboard watching it all, and if you're getting to a certain point, you get guys out? Is it about winning? Or is it about just?
I mean, it's got to be about winning. I get it. I mean, we're in, so it's different. I mean, the craziest game I've ever been a part of was the Y2K game. I was in Green Bay. We were playing the Arizona Cardinals, and there was a 3-way tie between I think the Cowboys and the Packers, and who was the third team? In Carolina. So we had to beat the Cardinals, but we had to beat them by more than we were like because for the 3-way tie. Carolina was like -12, so they won. So we had to make sure we won by more than what they won, to keep the -12. And then we all went and watched the game with the Giants and the Cowboys, Chan Gailey, and the Cowboys won. So the Cowboys went to playoffs. We're out. So I just remember the sideline during that deal. I mean, it was ridiculous because you're winning the game. So then we start throwing the ball because we got to make sure we had to win by more than 12 points or whatever. And so then they start throwing the ball even more, and then they got back in the game, and I mean it was just crazy. And we spent more time talking about the scoreboard and scoring more points. Then we had Dorsey Levens going over 1,000 yards and all those things, and then you go watch. So that's not the case, and I wouldn't do that anyways because I mean it's this is about winning. I mean, it's a division game. Division games are just very similar to playoff games. So this will be a great contest for us, and it'll be a great challenge. Make sure we're ready for the playoffs.
It's difficult.
Sorry for the dumb story. It's a filibuster. Yep.
Tyron Smith obviously making that difficult transition that he's made. How do you feel like that's come?
I thought he looked a lot more comfortable, against Tennessee. Even, his grade sheet reflected that too. I thought he's, just once again. I mean that's why you go to training camp. That's why the padded practices are so important. It isn't that does Tyron Smith know how to play right tackle? Absolutely he does, but but he needs to work combination blocks. He needs to work stunts. The TE games, the ETs, and all those things. And he's getting his work in live action. Because of when he came back. So I mean he's definitely someone that will definitely benefit from a full 7-day. But I thought he definitely looked very comfortable against Tennessee.
What does it say about him to say, put me over there? I know I'm this Hall of Fame left tackle, but you need me over here.
I mean, Tyron doesn't say a whole lot, but when he does, it's it's important, and everybody listens. And I think it just shows Tyron just wants to win. I mean, you think about what he's accomplished in his time in this league. I mean, it's the only thing left is a Super Bowl victory. So I mean, he's going to do whatever it takes to win, and I think it speaks volumes about him personally.
When you look at the course of the season and all the ups and downs and valley, do you have a defining moment or two that you look at and said, this is when you thought this team could be something?
I mean, it was early. I liked the way we finished the camp. We had a couple haymaker practices there. I thought, okay, it's starting to come together. But it's like it normally is. It's never what you want it to be early in camp. So, I think the Cincinnati game was a win that we needed for confidence. But when you have a performance like Minnesota, when you have some of those performances, it just shows what you're capable of doing. But the thing that I've been so proud of for our team is we got incredible veteran leadership, and these young guys have really. This rookie class and the second-year players have taken that. Second-year jump players have really stepped up, but just the way our young players played early, and were productive. I mean, what can you say about Tyler Smith? The way he's come in here and pretty much has played through everything that's been put in front of him. So I'm not giving you a defining moment because I think it definitely is a progression. But I felt really good about the team early in camp. I mean coming out of camp. And so I don't know. I guess we'd say the Minnesota game.
And was that when you lose Dak in week 1 though? Does that deflate you from all the good feelings you had even?
There's a lot made of losing the first game, but it was just one loss. Sometimes you can tend to feel like we lost more than one game that day, but we only lost one game. But the most important thing is we lost Dak Prescott. So. But it was week 1. I've done this long enough. There's so much football. I mean, in the 17th game, I think everybody, it adds a whole nother layer to this playoff situation. It's a longer year, and I think it's just a good reminder. You don't lose seasons in weeks 1 and 2. I mean, it's everybody wants to get off to a fast start. And we didn't in week 1, but we responded and just kept playing, and that's really what we need to do this week. So, yeah, I was never really worried about the team back in week 1. I mean, I have great confidence in Cooper, and obviously Philadelphia game we didn't play good in the first half, and had self-inflicted wounds that we are accountable for it. Went into halftime, we addressed it, and came out and had a chance to potentially win the game. So that's this league. This league is so damn hard. I mean, it really is. Everybody says it, but it's real. I mean, it's so hard to win one game, and I think you just got to keep that in mind.
Did Matt Farniak or anyone else, were there be any 21-day windows?
Yeah, Matt will he'll be activated. He will start practicing on Wednesday.
Terrence, did you have
Here, you got
something?
some news
No.
on this thing. Good.
Jury.
Waiting for the other thing.
What's the other thing?
Oh, you guys
The
waiting?
lineup?
We'll ask you later.
Mike, you all mentioned a lot throughout this season, just the feeling after that San Francisco playoff game last year, and your players have kind of continued to reference it. Have you focused on that maybe more with this team than you had in previous years regarding the playoffs, and how do you decide when it is and isn't the right time to bring something from last year in?
I mean, unfortunately, if you're in this business long enough, you're going to have some tough losses. You know, I know I've been part of them. You know, and it really, it's something that gives you, you know, something to point to. It really helps you with direction going into the off season. I think it's a good reference point in OTAs, off season program, training camp. There is a time or two in the season you may bring it up, but frankly, I can't speak for the players, but I'm not thinking about it. I mean, you know, I'm more into our path, you know, whether it's, you know, whoever it is, and how we're going to win those games. So, and this is what it's all about. This is what we're working for. I mean, you know, we're going to be one of 7 teams in the NFC in the playoffs, and that's a special place to be because, you know, obviously there's 9 others that are not in that pool. So, yeah, I'm just more focused on what we need to do to beat whoever we're lined up against.
John Show, The Athletic. It seems like most of the teams, if not all, that have go on to win the Super Bowl, they have really good defensive tackle play, and I know you guys obviously did in 10. What have you thought of your guys' defensive tackle play this year?
You know, that's an excellent observation. That's the best question of the day, by the way. But no, I think it speaks to defense. You know, and I've learned this through my time as a head coach. I mean, you know, it's been said for a long time, defense wins championships, and I believe that. I mean, defenses do win championships, but you need the quarterback to win the Super Bowl, and that's been my personal experience. And obviously, defensive tackle plays is a big part of that. So yeah, I mean, you know, we're doing it by committee. You know, I think the ability that we have, you know, 6 guys to roll through, there's a real benefit. I think just really the way our whole D line is set up that way too, because you could extend it out to the rushers, you know, because you got the big guys in the rushers is the way we really break them down, and the fact that we're able to rotate those guys the way we do, I think it's a huge strength of ours.
Is Jonathan Hankins still considered on track for the start of the postseason? And if so, what does that mean for having him and Leighton both?
Yeah, he's getting better. Leighton's getting better. You know, I don't think they won't be, you know, full. You know, they won't be working Wednesday. So I don't have anything for this week. Yeah. They're doing better. You know, they got a positive report today. So
All right, thank you, Mike.
thank you.